What it do, Kripple Krew? This is EDC with DBD, Disabled but Deadly, and welcome to another Tactical Tuesdays. We have a very special update edition today, as we have another Bark Rivers bombshell that I was not expecting. We have more information on the tools for Gent and Tuya and saga, including actual confirmation from Böhler. But whose side did it confirm? And then we talk about the rise of counterfeit custom knives. On top of that, we have a box to open up today. A box sent in by Matt Conklin and Rachel Jordan with a couple of knives to review that I have not had the chance to check out yet. I thank them for letting me borrow those, but we're going to look at that in a bit. I do see the Lone Star Dow Boys carry of the day is the Cold Steel Voyager XL, Krew, and the Airlight Tonto. I am going to start off at the top of the chat. First off, I want to give one more shout out to Kelly White, Robin Dahlem, and my entire Guardian family for this insane award that we opened up on Saturday. I really love this. I think this is just so freaking cool. And a big thank you to, like I said, Kelly, Robin, Blue, Robo, Trish, B, EDC, Jimmy, Titanium, Justin, Derek for real, War Room, Dark Water, Fook. Trying to remember without looking at a sticker. And I think I got everybody. All right. Kripple Krew. Now, we are going to start off at the top of the chat and say, what's up, what it do to everybody who's popped in. I do want to give a quick shout out to everybody who watches these live streams on the live. I really appreciate y'all, even when you can't tune in and join us. I said Jimmy Crow. And I said Robo. I said both of them. I did not forget them, Kelly. All right. Starting off at the top, we have Marco. Now, if anybody was in earlier than this, I apologize. StreamYard has reset my chat this morning and started it off at 8 a.m. So we have Marco. We have the Jake. We have Thomas Gates, aka Blessed EDC. What it do? Member Kripple Krew Inc. We have Clayton from Burning Stables Forge, dropping them badass emojis as a member of Kripple Krew Inc. Ginger Fisher will be working and lurking today, folks. So if he doesn't tag you, it's not because he don't love you. It's just because, he's trying to make that money. William Hornbostel, my brother, getting ready for lunch. He's going to be lurking. Yeah. What it do, my man? Foz Beast, my brother from a Dutch mother, checking in from the Netherlands. What it do, brother? What it do? Robo, behold, I come from a realm where my people failed to click the appropriate amount of thumbs and our civilization collapsed. Don't be like my people. Failures. I love it. Stop that like button, he's saying. He saw the Vert comment letting him know that he was in the wrong stream at the moment. Mick effing Ranger, member of Kripple Krew Inc. Good to see you. What it do? Oh, and that's a good time to let y'all know. If you're currently looking at a vertical screen and you only see 3 knives on your screen, you would like to see the whole screen and chat with the rest of Kripple Krew, then that link is in the pinned comment for the horizontal stream. My brother from a South African mother. Gareth, one of the oldest members of Kripple Krew Inc. What it do? There was YouTube didn't like that my original live stream had quotes around customs, and so it made me take those out. But then it created a whole bunch of extra lives. They got confused. I was deleting lives this morning. Wasted a good joke on a vert stream. Bouncing in to say hi and hit the like button. Rainy, nasty, overcast day, fighting a headache. Ooh, hopefully you feel better, sis. I really hope you feel better. Clint Crosby checking in on that vert side. What do you do, my man? I appreciate everybody back and clicking back and forth, hitting those like buttons on both sides. Hot showers in the dark is the only thing that used to help my migraines. I was not expecting that sentence to end in migraines, Robo. I started reading the sentence and then I realized I really should have read it in my head before I was reading it out loud. I was very glad it ended with migraines. Hot showers in the dark as the beginning of a Robo Steve-O comment is something that really could have set me up for failure. Love you, brother. They fit you, TG. What I do? Clint bouncing over to the horizontal side now. So is Boz. Everybody getting sideways with the crew. Neil Mudd, my brother, member of Kripple Krew Inc. Good to see you. A deuce. Is it a deuce or a deuce? Like, how would you pronounce it? Just a deuce? Like a deuce? Yes, box is also a body part in English as well. Yeah, I'll always miss you, brother, with every shot so far, but my aim is improving. I did say four wheels. I did. Like I really think I got everybody. No, I said you, Gareth. GST. Great Southern Treadkill. What it do, homie? Good to see you. Anyone get in on the S90V Thai Porcupine, that Thai Slim? That thing is a trip. I think it looks good, but it's not for me. It's not something I'll ever spend money on. Because those slims are just they're too narrow for my hands. They don't work. The original parallel, a knife I couldn't use. Bug outs I can't use. About the only super slim knives that I can use are TRM products. The Atom, the Neutron. Like even this We Evoke Ray Laconico design, beautiful knife, a little narrow for my hands. Like it doesn't have quite the same bulge as the Atom, and it makes this, if I was using this all day, or if I was using this for any extended period of time, I would definitely cramp up. So I think those look fantastic. And I know people are going to love them, but they're not for me. Robert Willoughby checking in on that vertical side. If you want to bounce to the horizontal, the link is pinned in the pinned comment. And The narrow knife just stabbed me in the palm while I was doing the rollover. See, too narrow for my hands. Still scrolling. In Johannesburg now. Man, you thought Durban was crazy. Now he's got to deal with Joburg. You go pop it in on that horizontal. Appreciate you stabbing a like button on both sides. Oh, glad that you were starting to feel better finally. You've been feeling crappy for a minute, brother. On the edge, EDC member, Kripple Wink Buddy, do. Yo, Authentic Sage Connections, member Kripple Wink. What's up, sis? Still scrolling. That's because I got big gorilla mids. Yeah, the parallel, I can't use it. I can't do it. Yeah, about Authentic Sage Connections loves the bug out and mini bug out. They're just too narrow for my hands. I don't think that, another one that doesn't fit my hand quite as well as it does a lot of others is the Bel Air. The Bel Air, not nearly as bad, but still not nearly as comfortable for me as if I was comparing this to the Hogue Deca, which is a bit girthier. Drop prices on the knives, trying to sell them. Yay. Check out the binge. But knife does Bigfoot carry. Carrying the bug out today. Yay. Oh, that's no fun, brother. That's no fun. Oh, yeah. No crap. It's got the old banner showing from Saturday. I forgot to turn that off. Good call, homie. And I better update a banner real quick because, we're back to 0 lives without color after Saturday. Let me make a new banner. Almost trying to we have gone 0 lives without color. Boom, there we go. New banner. We got that fixed. All right. Now, where was I? Okay, back to the chat for a second. Griffin and M390 has been in my pocket for 2 weeks now. Griffin is such a great knife. Coutuo really kills it. I battle with narrow knives as well. I know, brother. You have the same problem I do. Bluminati F Ninja, one of the OG members of Kripple Crew Inc. What's it do? What it do? What Sayed? What's up, Jesse? Checking in. Good to see you, brother. Hope you're having a killer day, and what it do? Yeah, the Griffin series as a whole, mini Griffin, fantastic knives. The G10s, amazing. Matter of fact, I can grab Mrs. Deadly's mini Griffin I should say Mrs. DVD, I guess, since that's what it's going to go by. Pardon me. Oh, pardon me. Hopefully the mic was covered for that. But the Krew Mini Griffin G10 and Griffin G10, absolutely one of my best budget knives of 2025. And I kind of like the mini better than the full size. I like both a lot, but I really, really like these minis. Can I do sounds? Yeah, I could make sounds work. I don't like artificial sounds. They get annoying, whether it's the clapter, the meows, the horns, any of that stuff. To me, it drives me absolutely bat crap. So instead of using sounds to salute the audience, I use flags and I use knife acoustics. So yes, William Hornbostel, I could make fake sounds work. I just don't like them. So for my channel, you get flags and knife acoustics. That's why you don't hear any of that stuff on here. Apex Carry EDC, aka Robin Dollum, aka the dude that printed the sick ass award. Much appreciated, my brother. You are in the vertical chat right now. Most of the crew is in the horizontal. So if you would like to chat with the whole crew, that link is in the pinned comment, brother. But this came out awesome, and I truly appreciate you. I mean, look at the depth on this, Krew. His cane's coming out of the award. I mean, the entire guy's coming out with the bandana and everything. The knife out of the award. I love to see all this. It's just so wicked cool how this came out. Truly appreciate you, my brother. And of course, the entire Guardian family. We'll put some more knives out for the moment until we get to a box. Breakfast nap time. Yeah, I was up late last night, passionate. I was watching Korean TV on Netflix. Man, I love me some Asian TV shows, by the way. They're doing it way better than American shows right now. I really like Asian horror stuff. Horror. Robo, get your mind out of the gutter. Horror, I said. I like Asian horror stuff. But Asian like murder mysteries are awesome. I prefer Korean, but I really dig some Taiwan stuff too. So anyway, I was stuck watching some Korean TV last night. Didn't go to bed until after 3. Alarm went off. I decided to reset it for another 15 minutes. Just 15 more minutes, Mom. 15 more minutes. And let's just say I must not have hit save. And I woke up about 30 minutes before the live stream. Nah, I just don't mess with the sounds, dude. It'll make it on the bike for pictures. And it'll probably travel with the bike as far as in the saddlebag, and so that it can be hung on the bike when I'm at a stop. But I ride at well over 100 miles an hour. If I'm on the highway, I'm averaging a minimum of 100. And a big giant pool ball flying around next to me is not a great idea. I don't even ride a regular whip on my bike anymore because we just go too insanely fast and the whips beat the hell out of you. So it'll stay with the bike, It'll travel with the bike as far as in the saddlebag, and it'll show off on the bike when I'm at a park. But I'm not going to let it beat the hell out of me when I'm flying down the highway. So, yes and no. Now, it will make my bike much easier to pick up or pick out of a big sea of black Harleys. That is going to help quite a bit. And it looks sick. Everybody's going to love the way it looks when they check it out. Yeah, Korean horror shows and movies are freaking awesome. I love it. You know, it's funny. Deadly daughter and I, we really started getting into Korean horror her senior year, and other Korean shows her senior year. And we got to the point because they're so, especially if you listen, you know, you have to watch it in Korean with subtitles because it sounds horrible dubbed. But they're so expressive in their language that we both got to the point where we would find ourselves looking away from the TV for a minute to like check a message or walk to the kitchen, grab a snack, and we'd still be able to follow along with what was happening without even consciously noticing it because of their tones and such. And there were a couple times where we like got to where we forget we were reading while we were watching it. It's just so much better to me than most American TV anymore. If we weren't supposed to ride over 100 miles an hour, the bikes wouldn't go that fast. Like, I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it if the bike didn't let me. But the bike loves it. Like, it's not my fault. That's what the bike was made for. Yay. Yeah, it's a great, like, that's where the bikes are happy. I do not yet. You stopped carrying it when it got caught under your shifter? Yeah. That's no bueno either. Yeah, life only begins at 100 miles an hour. Hell yeah, brother. It is so dangerous, this Gareth. Pardon me, you got me with that one, brother. Can't do modern horror films. Have enough troubles with Nightmare. There's a that makes sense. I get it, and stuff can look very realistic. That Texas rain, man. When it turns into flash floods on the road, that can be tough to ride in. Gareth, you freaking smart ass. Okay. So, we have some news. I have been in contact with a bunch of folks since the Bark River situation really popped off. And I've been in a lot of communication with Tools for Gents. We're going to start off with Bark River because I have something I bet y'all didn't have on your bingo card. So we already knew. I don't have any Bark River knives, folks. When I talk about Bark River, when I talk about Tuya, the knives that I am showing are not any affected knives. These are just knives that I have here that I'm showing off while we talk, because this is a knife channel. Joe to the K, what it do? Good to see you, homie. Checking in on that vertical side if you want to hang out with the crew. The horizontal link is pinned. But we already know that for years, Bark River Knives has been defrauding its customers, selling Chinese kit knives, grinding the made in China markings off, marking them made in the US, grinding the steel markings off and putting a fake steel on them and selling them as US made, hard use, custom fixed blades. What if I told you it wasn't only Chinese and the Japanese steels that they've been accused of before? We know already that 95% of the world's knife production comes from Guangdong, China. It is the knife production capital of the world. When people learned that Bark River was using Chinese kit knives, they were pissed, but not necessarily shocked. This week, I had a source who met with a knife production company in Turkey. This Turkish knife production company told her they got to talking about the stuff that's going on in the knife world right now, and Bark River came up. Cal, what it do, homie? I see you're in that horizontal or in that vertical. If you want to check the horizontal, the link is pinned. Good to see you, my friend. yeah, true that, Sage. This Turkish knife company was approached, according to the Turkish knife company themselves, was approached by Bark River Knives a couple of years ago. Bark River Knives asked them to make kit knives for them. Bark River asked them to grind off the made in Turkey markings before they sent them. This Turkish factory, through national pride, would not grind off the made in Turkey markings, but they did make quite a few kit knives that they sent to Bark River. Now, the actual models affected, I don't know for sure. I mean, I don't trust, for one, the first list of models that Mike put out is obviously bull. That's way more than that. And I don't know the names of the models that became Turkish kits. But what the Turkish guy says is the ones that he sent were all very fancy looking, very dressy looking. So any of the higher dress looking Bark River knives have the possibility of being Turkish kit knives. I do not believe that the Turkish facilities are producing the way. What's up, Scott? I'm trying to be. I'm trying to get the information I can. Mrs. DBD, sexiest member of Kripple Krew Inc. Love you, sexy. Mike John, what's up, homie? What is up? Good to see you, brother. Agreed on the power of positivity. So, not only were they using Japanese A6 and A8 tool steels for decades, and then marketing themselves stuff like 3B. Justin Polly, member Kripple Krew Inc. What it do, homie? Dropping them badass emojis. But they were also using Chinese kit knives, grinding off the markings, marking them as CPM 154 and other seals. And on top of that, they were using Turkish kit knives. Like, I don't know. It just the pit keeps getting deeper. You as well, sexy. You as well. Have fun with the fam. Yeah, it sounds like more Bark River knives are most likely not US. Yeah, it would be, I think you're more likely to get, or much less likely to get a US made Bark River than a non at this point. But that one truly surprised me. Like, the Chinese knife kits was bad, but it wasn't a true shock to me because I know, just like you know, most of the knife production in the world goes through China. And if somebody is going to buy a knockoff, it's going to be Chinese. But here's the thing. At least we know China can do a decent knife. Turkish kit knives sold as American-made fixed blades. Just wow. Yeah, they got ahead of the curve by buying their own counterfeits to sell themselves at top price. I love that comment every time, brother. Now, that doesn't surprise me. The fact that they participated doesn't surprise me. They were selling kits. They were making money. It wasn't their clients being affected. That's not too big of a shocker. They did refuse to grind off the made in Turkey markings, at least. But yeah, it's like he's been trashed forever. Weird. Yeah, it's almost like we might have known this before with marble and blackjack and everything this dude has done in the knife community. Yeah, it is just, I'm so glad that I never got into the Bark River craze. Ooh, Flipperless XMs. Ooh. I'm glad I never got into the Bark River craze. Since becoming disabled, far less of my knife usage is like outdoor bushcrafty. I just don't do that stuff very much anymore, like at all, hardly. And where I used to use knives outdoors a lot, now my preference for fixed blades is EDC size fixed blades, as you guys know. I like a fixed blade that's under 7 inches. Just because I think it's a great size for carry and still so useful. So, like the Bark River knives, bushcrafting knives, didn't really appeal to me. But I knew they had a huge following. So I always assumed, what they say about that they must be decent knives. Well, now we can't even assume that they're American knives. Just crazy. Between that, the Bark River situation, and the counterfeit customs situation, like with Dark Oath Blades, selling PakiMascus as 15N20 Damasteel custom knives. stuff like that. It really, really proves that your fixed blades should either come from a reputable custom maker from our community, like Aries EDC, like JR's Knives, like Derby Blades, like BP's Knives, like, we have so many. Burning Stables Forge. I don't want to keep going because I'm going to forget people, and I'm going to upset somebody with who I forget. But we have so many amazing custom fixed blade makers that I don't see why you don't. If you're going to spend a couple of $100 anyway, get you a good custom. And one from somebody that you can trust from this community, not from somebody who you just spotted on a website like Dark Oath Blades. We have too many amazing fixed blade makers. Now we have some awesome, awesome custom folder makers as well. That's really cool to hear. Really cool to hear. I need to go back up for a second. You're eating in front of an African starving child. Kneel to the Mac. This is what I had to go back up for a moment. We'll put that there. Member of Kripple Inc. for 16 freaking months. 16 freaking months. That's as long as you can be, Krew. That's an OG. That gets a dual flag salute. We're over a year. We get the dual flag salute, and we are going to do an American-made Microtech acoustic salute for my brother. Krew, drop your badass emojis. Showing support for Neil Mac. By the mic. I really, truly thank you for your support, brother. That's Killer Joe K. Good to see you, homie. Trico, what it do, Trilfo? Scroll in, get back to the bottom real quick. Badass emojis, SOCOM Elite. Yay. Man, I really, really like this knife. Way more than I ever thought I was going to. And this really makes me want a SOCOM ram lock now. Pardon me. Oh. I apologize. My vocal flap is messing up today. But I really want to check out the SOCOM manual with the ram lock and the thumb studs. I think I would carry that a lot. More badass emojis. Love to see it. Love to see it. All right. So, what it do, Ron Krew? Member of Kripple Inc. Good to see you, brethren. Hope you're having a killer day. Matt Conklin, what it do? Heading home from the first day of fishing. Folks, we will be opening this box from Matt Conklin very shortly so we can see what he sent for review. I have cut off the label, but I have not got into the box. So, really looking forward to opening that up and showing you what Matt sent for review. Yeah, I shot you a message, but you must have been fishing, my brother. Now, besides finding out about the Turkish kit knives from Bark River Knives, again, still wild to me that it wasn't just Chinese kits, but Turkish kits of all things. We also have confirmation from Böhler on the TFG Tuya Queen Anne's Revenge situation. I have been privy to an email. Folks, when I talk about this Bark River situation, or this Tuya situation, real quick, I do want to state that everything that I am going to talk about at first is based on actual communications that I have seen between Tuya and TFG, between TFG and Böhler, and direct comments from Richard from TFG himself. This next thing that we are going to talk about comes directly from a Boker email. I can't show the email because it has names in it. And, I do have to keep some stuff confidential. But I'm allowed to talk about it. And I'm only bringing this up because I have personally reviewed receipts to my own, to the point where I feel comfortable talking about this. I have seen the receipts. I have seen an email directly from Böhler that stated unequivocally, after sampling 2 Queen Anne's Revenge. So we're not just talking about sampling a batch of steel that may or may not have been used in the QAR. No, I'm talking about 2 finished Tuya Queen Anne's Revenge knives were sent to Böhler by TFG for testing. Direct quote from Böhler was that the nitrogen content was way too low for any run of Böhler M390 microclean. Direct quote. This is not Böhler M390 microclean. Direct quote after testing 2 Queen Anne's Revenge. And Tuya has still fought this and called TFG liars. I've seen very unprofessional and even mildly threatening emails sent by different people to TFG. But the question is answered. Böhler's own testing. Now, I want to recall as I walk to let the dogs out, I'm going to talk. And if you remember, when I read statements from Tuya last week, when this news dropped, Tuya's official statements said that Böhler tested it and found that it was an old formula of N390. TFG knows this. Why are they lying? I have read the Böhler statement. In nowhere, once, not even once, is it mentioned that this might be an old batch, an old formula of Böhler M390 microclean. And even if it was, that old formula, the last time Böhler M390 microclean was updated was well over 5 years ago. So why would you still be using a subpar version of a steel in your newest 2026 top dollar knives, but not telling the manufacturer that you weren't using the best version of the steel? Now that's a BS. That's BS anyway. That's not even true, because Böhler's own statement stated unequivocally, this is not Böhler M390 microclean. I told you before that another manufacturer is now questioning Tuya S90V. I also told you that some knife makers that you would recognize have been pulling designs from Tuya because they were trying to see how this was going to shake out. No, Tuya was claiming it was the old M390. It wasn't the new M390, but it was still M390. That's what Tuya tried to claim. They were calling TFG a liar. They said you already knew this. It was just old M390, which isn't true. It isn't true. That is not what Böhler said, because they said that Böhler confirmed that it was just an older formula of M390. I've seen the communications they're talking about, and that was never, ever, ever said. Ever. Yes, Spyderco seems to be doing pretty good. KAI USA definitely improved the last couple of years. So this situation, I'm glad it came out. And I'm glad that I decided to reach out to Tools for Gents. You know, like I did say in a previous live stream, that people in the lefty EDC pass around group who have good relations with Tuya US were reaching out to Dave Warren for statement. And I thought that we should probably get it from TFG as well. And so I reached out to TFG. And Richard has been so open in his communications with me. I'm glad I did, because when Tuya Europe and Tuya US dropped their initial statements last Tuesday stating that, no, it was M390, Böhler had tested it, it was just a previous formula, I believe that. That sounded like it could be true. And I thought maybe this was put to bed. I was just waiting to hear back from TFG. And then that really exploded it. Kane Miranda, member of Kripple Krew Inc. What it do, my brother? How are you today? And then that really exploded it. Talking to Tools for Gents has led me down a rabbit hole of emails and direct messages, and I don't see how there's any way to trust Tuya in this situation now. When you get the word from Böhler themselves that it's not their steel, I just found out I've been pretty gullible. It hurts, doesn't it, brother? It hurts to find out that companies you thought you could trust have been taking advantage of your wallet. It really blows my mind. At first, I was like, man, how did companies think they were going to get away with this? And then I realized, because they have been. That's why they thought they'd continue to get away with it. Beekeeper, what it do? They figured they'd continue to get away with it because they always have. What tipped TFG off? That's a good question. When two big things tipped TFG off. The first of which, when they we're working on this exclusive model with Tuya, like they do with all of their manufacturers. They ask for traceable steel batch certificates. And for over a year, Tuya refused to, and still hasn't, because they can't. They wouldn't produce steel batch certificates. That was the first thing that tipped them off, because they get that from everybody they work with. TFG is a very reputable European retailer. They go through a lot of lengths to make sure that when they offer something, they're offering the best. And one of the first things they ask for is batch certificates. The second thing that tipped them off was real world use. They took a couple of Queen Anne's Revenge and were using them. Edges would roll, edges would chip, edges were not holding. They weren't holding bite after just a few cuts. The steel did not perform like M390. So when you take the lack of a batch certificate, add it to crappy real world port performance, the TFG got worried. TFG, though, tried for almost a year to handle this with Tuya before ever saying anything publicly. Cal. Well, that's not a good thing. You're supposed to sleep. That is a big point, Mick. It's a lot of the Chinese companies can. They will just, like, if they get caught, they can rebrand, drop a new name, and still come from the same place. And most people won't know any better until, a ways down the road when it comes out again. When the biggest reason Mike Stewart pulled down the official statement from BRK is probably because an attorney told him everything he said in that was actionable, and he just opened himself up way worse for liability. We can sue an American manufacturer that screws us over. Now, all the money's going to be gone in this Park River situation. People will sue, Mike. They will probably get a judgment, but they're probably never going to get a dime. But the thing is, with Chinese companies, we can't sue them. And they can just kill a name and make a new name. I have seen some pretty disappointing and disturbing comments stating that it's not going to affect them at all. That, you know what, it'll probably help our bottom line. Yeah, Chinese pot metal. Yeah, I have seen a communication with stating pretty much exactly that. Stating that all you're doing is giving us more attention, and we're selling more than we ever have. No BRKs or Tuyas. If Hinderer goes down, I'm in trouble. If Hinderer goes down, we have to question the whole knife industry. Javon, what's up? He's in a bad position. I 100% believe so, because I don't think, and I said this on a previous, by the way, what's up, Javon? And thank you for dropping in, brother. I have said before, I don't think that Dave Warren is lying. I believe that Dave Warren is being told from Tuya China that this is what's going on. It's already been tested. This is how it is. And we've already told TFG all of this. And I think Dave Warren is going off of the information he's getting from people he believes he can trust. I don't call Dave Warren, Tuya US, or even Tuya Europe liars in this situation, because all three can only go off of the information that Tuya China gives them. Have a great day, Sage. Appreciate you, sis. Phil, what's going on? Good to see you. Well, it's a huge cost to start a good American knife company. Yes, no, I definitely am not calling Dave out in this situation. I am calling Tuya China out based off of the information that I have received. Yeah, I have never had a problem with Dave personally. And again, he can only go off the information that he's being given by somebody he's trusted for years. So, when you have a relationship with somebody you trust, look at a lot of these people that got taken by Mike Stewart. He's the most obvious example right now. That's why I'm using him. But this applies to, let's just say, Dave Warren with Tuya. When you are getting information from somebody that you trust and have trusted for a few years, when an outside source comes in and tries to blow that up, and your respected, trusted source gives you information that says, no, they're wrong, we've had it tested, we've done this, you're going to believe your source, your trusted partner, over the person attacking them. It is how it is. I mean, lying means that you knew it was false. I think that he trusted and he repeated false information that he was given. That's ignorance, not malice, if you feel what I'm saying. I don't think he's a liar. Javon, we can chat about this. Based off of what I have seen, Dave was going off of the information he was given. But I feel for all of our homies who have had knives made by Tuya, awesome designs, but knives that now they are questioning the validity of, knives that their buyers are now questioning. I feel so horrible for our partners who have just gotten knives made. Like, I can't imagine what they are feeling right now. I mean, if information like this came out about Farrah Monster, I know how horrible I would feel. I know that I would feel like I deceived you, even though in no way was that the case. And so I feel horrible for our brothers who have recently made knives with Tuya. Oh no, I don't think that the Chinese version of, I don't think that Tuya China was being ignorant. What I meant by ignorant is I believe that Tuya Europe and Tuya US had bad information from Tuya China. That's what I'm saying, homie. True that, true that. Yeah, incompetence and ignorance. I mean, like, again, let's just say I'm just going to use a company that I trust explicitly. TRM knives. I'm using them as an example. There has been zero questions about the validity of TRM's builds. But let's say some Tuya or some not Tuya, some TRM retailer came out and said that they weren't really using 20 CV and Magna Cut in their blades. I wouldn't believe it. I would believe what TRM has told me because because the way I trust them. It would be hard for me to believe an outside source. And I don't even work with them. So when I talk about Dave, who has had a long time relationship with Tuya and he does work with them, I get why he believes them. Lots of Chinese people lying about what metal is. Yes. And I think we are going to find out it is more widespread. Oh, we started off with Bark River, Javon. That was the first one because I don't think you've even heard this, Javon. If you weren't here in the beginning of the stream, I just talked to a source who was in Turkey and visited a Turkish knife manufacturer. They were talking about the state of the industry. The Turkish knife manufacturers stated that they were also contracted by Bark River Knives for kit knives. They were asked to remove the made in Turkey markings, but their workers refused to do that, and so Bark River did it themselves. So we don't have even just Chinese kits. Now we have Turkish knife kits in the Bark River mix. So yes, no, Bark River. Woo! Trust me, we did not forget. Dark Side Dabber, what is up? Always looking for an EDC Sax. This is an Aries EDC Spike. Handmade custom, made in Florida. This one is in AEBL steel with burlap micarta and brass pins. You can do them with multiple different steels, different handle materials. I love Aries EDC fixed blades. This is another pattern of his. But this has always been my favorite pattern because of that Sax look. And this is my most used knife over the last year and a half. Over a year. I've had it for over a year. I don't think I've had it for a full year and a half. But this is my most used knife, and it has stayed sharp. You can get Aries EDC fixed blades starting under $200 for high carbon steels and under $250 for stainless steels. You support a small, local US manufacturer making knives. You know what you're getting. And you're going to pay less than you would have for like a Bark River. Time for knife retailers to get ahead of this. Yeah. Yeah. Good call. Yes. I figured that's the one you're asking about, brother. This is the Aries EDC Spike. Aries EDC is in the chat, or he was earlier. Follow Aries EDC on Instagram and YouTube. He has playlists on Instagram. That's his logo. He has playlists that talk about how to get on his books and also that talk about his knife drops every other month. Absolutely. And somebody that I will recommend every single day. This knife I have never sharpened in over a year of use. It is AEBL steel with a custom heat treat. I strop it every once in a while, but I've refused to put an edge on it because I want to see how long it's going to last. And this is my most used blade. I cut with this knife more than anything else, in my collection. That looks like I got, it's hanging up on all that glue. I need to clean all the glue off. But as you can see, still very slicey after over a year of use. I highly, highly recommend Aries EDC or any of our true custom knife makers when you're buying a nice fixed blade. No, so when DLT bought, so Bark River, folks, was not paying any of their bills. That included American steel manufacturers and distributors. Bark River could no longer find anybody to sell them decent steel. And DLT and one other retailer bought legit steel from Niagara for Bark River. No telling how many knives were made with this steel and how many were kit, because they were producing more volume than the weight of the steel purchased for them. Yeah, TRM is my most trusted company. TRM is, you guys already know, is my favorite knife brand. But I love the quality of their finished product and the fact that everything is either done in-house or the couple of screws that they don't make are made right up the road to their specifications. Everything is US sourced, US made. It's assembled with care and by a company that actually cares about the EDC community. This situation proves that even though this has been my number one recommended company, I haven't recommended them enough. Like, with all this drama, we should really be supporting the companies we know we can trust. It's not just TRM. They're my favorite. Your favorite might be Spyderco. Your favorite might be, Hinderer. But these companies that we know we can trust, we really should be supporting. Yeah, Hoback. Ooh, that's why they're calling it Hobart River. Yeah, I mean, that had the proper steels, but was marked made in the US and absolutely was not. And the dude still sells knives constantly. Like, I'm not saying he's still selling Chinese knives marked American. I'm just saying people we had a question earlier that was like, how do people think they can get away with it? Well, Bark River got away with it for over 25 years and two companies before Bark River. Hoback sold Chinese knives marked made in the USA, got caught still selling knives. Take it easy, Mud. Much love, brother. You should think so. You definitely should think so. Jim Miller, member of Kripple Inc., dropping the $10 super chat. Says, what it do? Beautiful day on the job. Thank you, my brother Jim. Truly appreciate you and your support. I hope you're having a killer day at work. We're going to give you some acoustics from my homeboy Fabster Runs, Knox's. By the mic. Thank you, Brother Jim. Your constant support truly touches me, brother. I know I've said it, but I mean it, even if I repeat myself. On the Edge EDC. Member of Kripple Krew Inc. for 7 months. Hell yeah. How about an acoustic salute from the Monster Glideman DVD edition? By the mic. Folks, there are less than half a dozen satin variants left for only $99 after code DVD. And we're getting low on the DLC as well. Thank you so much for your support, Kripple Krew, but you still have time to get in on the Glideman DVD edition. Man, I should have also included McNeese in the trustworthy brands. That PSA that he put out was awesome. I love what McNeese is doing. And they were already high on my grail list to Mac 2 and a Dixon. But after this whole situation, they got bumped further up the list for sure. With this leap rebound tester again. Damn, Jim. I appreciate you again. He put the other super chat in the vert, so he dropped another super chat in the horizontal. Damn, Jim. Thank you, my brother. Truly, truly do. Thank you. Matt Moorer, what it do, brother? Rate the ABL is the same education as they do. It sounds crazy, but putting numbers on things helps. ABL is one that I prefer. Okay, I know they're all the same family, but my personal experience, if I was talking about a non-custom heat treat, I prefer AEBL to Nitro V quite a bit. And I've had better luck personally with AEBL than 14C. I don't have any issue with 14C. It's just fine. I've had good luck with AEBL, and then a custom heat treated AEBL is going to blow apart anything from a production standpoint. Yeah, it's a fantastic steel, especially for fixed blades. Hit the like button, crew. Appreciate you, Jay Wesley. More badass emojis. Love to see it. Rachel Jordan, member Kripple Krew Inc. What's up, sis? I admit I bought a couple of holdback knives after the controversy because they're, well, you knew what you were getting too when you spent that money. You spent what you thought was a fair amount of money on a Chinese-produced knife. I get that. If you had spent the full price, though, thinking you bought a U.S., you'd have been furious. Where does it touch you? Do we need to talk about it? Rachel caught 7 fish. Oh! It is, Sever. It is. Ray Laconico design, very similar in length. This, you know what this reminds me of if I was to compare it to another knife, is a less comfortable TRM Atom. The TRM Atom for a thin knife is much more comfortable in hand. But that's just I know they're different blade shapes. I know all of that. I'm just giving you a size comparison and comparing 2 thin knives. That's the closest comparison I can get to you. I shouldn't say Tuya. I was going to buy one, but my wife and dog were attacked by an off-leash dog. Oh no! I hope they're okay, beekeeper. Yeah, agreed, Phil. Good to see you, Sever. You caught zero. Hey, at least you had Rachel there to pick up your slack. I mean, this We Evoke, very nice knife, but it is a little too thin for my hands. It doesn't have the same comfort that the Atom gives me, but still a really nice knife. This was a gift. If you are into thin knives, it's done very well. Now, before we open a box from Matt Conklin and Rachel Jordan, I want to talk about Counterfeit custom knives. And I am going to call a company out by name. Let's share this screen. Dark Oath Blades selling custom fixed blades with what's supposed to be Damas steel and camo carbon. That's supposed to be damtanium camo carbon. That is not damtanium camo carbon. That is a Chinese carbon fiber with some purple and blue included in it. But here's where it gets worse. So if you look at this, this looks like somebody doing authentic stock removal and, you know, selling some really cool looking custom fixed blades. You see these prices and you see like $150 for a Damas steel and camo carbon blade. And you should question that a bit. Again, he's calling that damtanium camo carbon. If you're familiar with damtanium camo carbon, that is not damtanium and that is not camo carbon. But this blade right here is listed as a 1084 and 15N20 Damas steel or Damascus. When this was tested, one of these Damascus mini piercers was tested by Taylor Hardness. It came out to 47.8 HRC. Taylor reached out to him and said, hey, this is quite a bit lower than what I would expect. You know, would you like to comment on the heat treat? And the guy admitted to him. He's like, oh, it's probably that cheap Damascus I bought from Pakistan. So he's legit using PakiMascus and a generic carbon fiber to pass off as custom fixed blades. You know, this looks like and there we do have custom knife manufacturers that are really using legit copper mine steel. All of this is being purchased from Pakistan. Make sure, even on a custom fixed blade, that you do a little research into it. Oh, this one says Baker forged Kumai Damascus. Now, the guy is claiming that he only uses Baker now, but I don't believe that because he was passing these off before as something other than what they were. Before you buy a custom, look into them. Yeah, that's useless. Look into the company. Yeah, I know. Isn't that horrible? BNA human cheat code. Remember Kripple Inc. What it do? It took an oath to lie and defraud. I like it. All of this brings me back to doing your research and to the fact that we should be putting money into companies we trust, whether that is customs from your favorite custom maker, somebody from our community, whether that is a company like TRM that you truly trust, whether that's a Spyderco who we can see has been drilling, absolutely drilling the best heat treats, or somebody like a Kubi, almost a too big to fail type of deal. That's downright flaccid. And we'll take a look at Taylor Hardness here in a bit and see what's been added. I like seeing what he's added. But spend your money where you trust. And one more thing. Take everything I say with a grain of salt. Buy what you love. Buy what's going to make you happy. Because if you're happy with the purchase, nothing that I or anybody else says means crap. Buy what makes you happy. But let's try to support these companies that are doing the right thing. Yeah, that's why, a custom or a small batch heat treat produces better results than, on most steels than large mass produced heat treats. That's why, even though they are a production company, TRM heat treats their steels in small batches, not individual heat treatments, but very small batches, so that they can control the process and control the individual temperatures of each blade. Much harder to do in a batch process where there's some are coming out and going in, where they're going in and out at different times, or where one side of the heat treatment could be off from a completely different side if you're doing them in big enough batches. Also, 100% don't make knives if you don't have the skills or tools. Thank you. Forged in Fire was awesome for the knife community. It brought a lot of attention, and it also got a lot of people excited about making knives. And yes, a lot of dope knife makers have come out since Forged in Fire. Unfortunately, it also made everybody think that they could make a knife. I love watching Forged in Fire. My daughter and I can look during a process. We can look and tell what's going wrong with it on the show before the judges say, call it out. Does that mean I know how to make a knife? No, not at all. That doesn't mean I know how to do a good heat treat or, I don't know how to do that. And just because I watch it on TV doesn't mean I should start doing it. Jim Miller, have a killer day, my brother. Love you, brother. Um, yes, very true, very true. Very true, Phil. But, and just because you see something done doesn't mean you know how to do it. We did have a lot of people get into custom knife making. And when you see a lot of the posts that are like, I'm done with this, I'm selling my tools, I give up, it was probably somebody that shouldn't have been there in the first place. I hope you guys are seeing everything fine because I keep getting warnings that YouTube is having problems today. And the studio almost didn't want to work earlier. I just got another warning that YouTube is having issues today. Hopefully, y'all are still seeing everything just fine. We're going to clean off this space and back up the camera so we can open up a box from Matt Conklin and Rachel Jordan with a knife with some stuff to review. First, let's put these fixies away. JR knives made from 52-100 ball bearing steel. Aries EDC Spike, aka Lagatha. TRM Tagalong in DLC. USA made with USA made chief. Aries EDC Bloomcliff and ADCRB2 with Kieranite scales. Just beautiful work, Aries. And we'll move the TRMs. The weed, the Geo. Let's get this stuff. All right. We have a box here. We're going, or a deuce here, as they would say in South Africa. We're going to split this deuce. And we will use, I was going to use, we'll use the Razor Shark. Knife Nut 69, what's up, homie? Appreciate you stopping in. Have a killer day, my friend. Dimco Razor Shark. My favorite unboxing knife. I don't want to show the top of the box, even though I cut the label off. There's some stuff written on it. There we go. We'll roll it open that way. There we go. Okay. First, I want to show this because, oh, and this one feels amazing. So first, one of the knives that he sent for me to review is the 15V Triple B baby Spyderco Para 3 lightweight. And this has got to be the smoothest lightweight ever. I have not had a chance to check out any 15V. So really appreciate you sending this here to review. He included this because he was already sending the box. And now I'll show you what he was already sending. Oh, man. 15V, baby. With that big brown bear heat treat. Now, Matt and Rachel knew that I had never reviewed a Microtech. And matter of fact, the first one that ever came into the channel was this SOCOM Elite that showed up last week as a giveaway win from Wick Actual. But what we're checking out today is another Microtech. And this is the first Microtech OTF I've had the chance to check out. This is a UTX 85. This is the exact size that I've wanted to check out from Microtech. As you can see, it's going to be Tonto, full serrated with the stonewash. And let's feel this trigger. Oh man, that's the wax. You got the standard Microtech billboarding all over. Serial number and date on the clip. Reversible clip. And the reason that Matt doesn't carry this often is because of these very smooth aluminum scales. But this definitely is the wax out. And I really look forward to reviewing it. I appreciate you. Is a voice note on how to say it? I really appreciate you letting me review this. Yeah, this thing is wicked. It is the UTX 85. Very good size. Very good size for an EDC knife. I definitely thank you guys for sending that in for review, as well as this beautiful brown never looked so beautiful. Beautiful triple B lightweight to check out. I'm really stoked for that. Appreciate you loaning me these, guys. Wait, what? No, homie, I'm not. I can't take your Microtech. Really? Thank you, brother. Thank you, sister. And I will find. Wow, thank you, guys. Really. Wow, I appreciate you. And I will find something nice to throw back in the box. I was going to anyway for letting me borrow these, but I'll make sure to include something nice in the box when I send this baby back to you. Wow. Thank you, Matt. Thank you, Rachel. Very, very much appreciated. I was excited just to review these. And I'm still excited to review this and get it back to you. But thank you, homie. Thank you, sister. I really appreciate you. Henry G. What it do? Check out this sexy UTX 85 I was just gifted. Absolutely wild. Yes, thank you so much. What an awesome, awesome gift. Oh, it feels so good. So good. That is so wicked cool. Yeah, yay, look at them badass emojis showing support for Matt and Rachel. I'm going to pop up Instagram and see if y'all have sent your cripple carries in. If you haven't sent your cripple carry or your cripple critter pictures and you want to share with the crew, shoot them to my Instagram. And we will start off at the Jake. And the Jake has the Vero, Mylan, and Avid 2. Oh, that Avid 2 looks so good. I love that blade shape. We got Lynch Northwest. We got Loop Gear. We got Zippo. We got all kinds of badassery. Inky Hanks, all kinds of badassery. Look at the DVD and Blade Walker chips. Just pure badassery. Those show. Licensed to carry small arms. Oh, open. Man, those Veros look fantastic. Sick carry. Robin Dahlem rocking some wild knife. Is that a boy kilo? That's wild. I don't know what it is. Authentic Sage Connections rocking DBD shirt. We got the Jesus matching with the mini bug out. Love it. Jim Miller with the KB Zephyr. Okay, here we go. With the KB Zephyr, the Tempest Tornado, and the Jack Wolf Backwoods EDC. Ooh. We got Olight. We got the awesome Pride. We got the awesome Viperade pouch. Ooh, GEC. And S90V Para 3 from BNA. Straight killing it, brother. Kelly White. We've got a Lake Champlain Jack. A Tornado. The Blixen Blade. Kelly. We've got some awesome resin pours. We got the flashlight. We got the old light and the Junkin' Genius. Hank. Wicked carry. Love it. The Kripple crew always has the best carries. D. Effin' Letterman. What's up, Dwayne? Chicken fried steak. What's up, homie? Right Forever Steel Teokatuk. Okay, got you. That makes sense. Awesome carries. You know, with everything that we've been talking about, as far as the shenanigans, hijinks, and outright fraud going on in the knife market, it's going to be interesting to see what this does for. Oh man, if you're not following Apex Carry 80 the EDC, give him a follow. He's almost at 8. Let's get him to 100. Or he's 8 away. He's almost at 100. Let's get him to 100. You know, I do think that this is going to, it has to affect buyer confidence. But it makes you wonder what companies will be affected. Because the only people that this is really going to mess with are those of us like y'all who are plugged in to the behind the scenes and what's going on in the knife industry. Most people are never going to see this information. You know, your typical bench-made buyer is never going to see any of this drama behind the scenes. And I'm not saying bench-made is using fake steels. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying your bench-made buyer, most of them don't know even about Bark River going under. Oh, I'll tell you, Dwayne. I'll tell you. We can carry it, or we can cover it again. You know, the guys like Benchmade, their buyers never going to see this. This is going to make it a lot harder for some of the more niche companies that, like, say, those of us that are tuned in are in love with, but maybe the wider public isn't aware of. That's going to make it a lot harder for stuff like that. The overall knife industry will continue. I agree. It's one of our most important tools. It's never going anywhere. But I do think it's going to hurt some of the smaller companies, even if they are not, even if they're 100% on the up and up. Man, yeah, Vulcan knives. That's my number one custom grail right now. I appreciate you, Mick Ranger, dropping the link to the Kripple Krew Gear Corner where you can get your badass Kripple Krew or DBD gear. And, it's funny because we talk about, and I was thinking about this morning. I'm going to go let the dog in. And while I'm doing that, actually, I'm going to leave that cool ass knife on the screen to look at, and we'll flick something else while I let her in. She's ringing her doorbell, in other words, barking at the back door. But, I was like, man, this is really going to damage confidence in the knife industry. And then I remembered that while we buy a lot of knives, the YouTube and Instagram, the people that are really tuned in to the knife market, we're not the bulk of the customers. And I think that's also part of the reason why companies are able to get away with some of this stuff for so long. Is that most of their customers don't know any better. Most of them don't have 7 dozen M390 knives to compare all against each other. And so for those folks, it's not going to affect the way they buy at all. It's those of us that are obsessed with knives that it's going to affect more. But I do agree with what was said earlier that 2026 is going to be the year of knife revelations. And I do still think that we have not found even close to everybody we're going to be talking about at the end of this year. This is not just a Bark River, Tuya, and a couple of fake custom makers situation, or Hoback. This is a lot more widespread than we know, I believe. I'm just curious as to who else we are going to find out about before the end of the year. Because, again, I never had Tuya on my bingo card. Dwayne Letterman, you asked about the Bark River Knives Bombshell. At the beginning of the stream, I was talking about the fact that, yes, we already knew that they were using Chinese kit steel, but that wasn't, I want to say it was very disappointing. It was wrong. It was fraud, but it wasn't the biggest shock because 95% of knives in the world are made in China and Guangdong. However, I was talking to somebody yesterday who just was over in Turkey visiting some knife plants. And a Turkish knife company told them that they were contracted by Bark River as well for kit knives, that they were asked to remove the made in Turkey signage or, markings on the blade, but that they refused and sent them that way. And that Bark River went ahead and removed the made in Turkey. So, and according to the Turkish knife company, these were all, I guess, what you would call prettier or more dressy knives. So more expensive. Not right now. Not right now, Rachel. There's different people trying to do different things to keep people honest. Lee with Love Them Knives has been sending off blades for years to get reviewed on his own dime, but we don't have any good website with all that information collated. We have people like Taylor at the Steel Hardness Lab and others doing independent testing, trying to keep them honest on HRCs. But there's really no site that, puts all of this together. And one of the biggest problems is, especially with Chinese knife companies, if they're caught, they can shut down and just reopen under a new name, come out with some different designs, and keep doing the same thing. Boom Booms! What's up? Good to see you. What's in the pockets today? We've been talking about all kinds of crazy stuff, like Turkish kit knives, fake customs, and even counterfeit M390. Taylor Hardness, his channel will be the closest thing to keep them honest. You guys know that I truly appreciate what he's got going on. I'm going to pull up his website after I share a couple of more pictures. And MKM from our homie on the edge EDC. It's a good looking blade. Beekeeper. Oh, there's the one that got hurt in the dog attack. Oh, poor boys. I hope he's doing okay. I love Kripple Critter pictures. Poor baby, he got the corny shame. Jay Wesley, rockin'. Ooh, look at that crazy cell-shaded heretic. Got the Ray Light pineapple and a glow-in-the-dark Zippo. That's some badass pockets. Love to see it. Yeah, it looks like a lover, not a fighter. There's the Steel Hardness Lab link, folks, right there. And we are going to check out the Steel Hardness Lab right now. Let me pull it up. And I'm going to share this screen. Cross Lee, remember Kripple Crew Inc. What is up, homie? Good to see you. Chris Lopez. Man, how you doing, brother? Hope you're doing well today. Good to see you. He got 20 stitches defending the wife, but he's been eating well. That's good to hear. That's good to hear. Yeah, I shall go look a puppy. Let's take a look at the steel hardness lab. He's up to 319 blades tested, 89 brands, 73 steel types. Love to see it. We're going to go to the database though. And one thing that I want to look at is specifically Damascus. Here is that PakiMascus from Dark Oath Blades. 57, 58. You know, that's truly about what I would expect for a Damascus. You're not going to get over 70 or over 60 HRC on Damascus. It's just, unless it's a custom heat treat on a specific type, you know, a 57, 58 is just perfectly acceptable. Damascus is more about looks than edge retention. 58.8, actually, pretty decent. 47.4 is a joke. And it shows that not all steels are the same. And Damascus, definitely something that you should get from a reputable brand. Definitely check out these awesome links that the mods are dropping, folks. Yeah, life happens, right, brother? Taylor is doing some amazing work with the steel hardness lab, and I got mad respect. We'll have Taylor back on again on a live stream in the near future. Also, we are going to be having some more guests in the near future, other knife makers and EDC gear makers in our community have asked if they could join us, like Clayton from Burning Stables Forge did. So we'll be doing that some more. But yeah, Taylor will definitely be a guest again. I'm grabbing some more. Whoop, there's a dog directly behind me. Dude, you got to give me enough room to roll back, crackhead. I'm going to grab some water real quick. What, you guys went outside? Is that why you ride up on me? Yeah. Let me get some water. Let me get some water and I'll let you out. Dogs are being a little bit of a pain because do you want out? No, I'm not going in the garage right now, dogs. It's not smoking time. Because it's gorgeous outside. So they like being outside. But daddy's home alone. So they won't let me out of their sight for too long. So it's an in and out. In and out. Spyderco wire clips work great. That's for sure. Man, this. Wow, for a Para 3 lightweight, this is buttery smooth. This feels like it has a second washer. It's so smooth. It's funny. Brown FRN Not something the people would have thought they would covet a couple years ago. Now everybody wants to get some of this brown. Centering. Better than any Para 3 lightweight I've seen before. Here's my own. The lightweight salt. The 15V is much more centered. It feels a lot better too. Now, could also be, this might be like his most used knife. I don't know, but it is smooth as butter. Smooth as butter for a lightweight. Fastback clip fits the Para 3 and is way more stout for a wire clip. Yay. Have the black. Wish I had another color. Yeah, that brown for the 15V. You know, once they assigned this color to 15V, I wonder if they were laughing. They're like, we are going to get people to chase brown FRN. And they did. Yeah, it has a few thousand flicks. Yeah, this seems, I mean, it's so smooth compared to most of the lightweights. Para 3 is such a great size. Let's see. I know this is a knife that he has carried and used, but we also know that 15V is going to hold. And if I hit the paper right, that was me again, trying to get the right angle under the camera, and I was bending the paper. But this is a steel that's not even made anymore. Really awesome to get to check one out. When did we find out that Tuya's on the list? Sean, last week. So, just a little backstory. Tools for Gents did an exclusive model with them, the Queen Anne's Revenge. When they were first making the Queen Anne's Revenge with Tuya, they asked for traceable steel batch certificates from Böhler. Never could get those, showing that it was M390. When they did real-world usage with the blades, Tools for Gents found that the steel did not behave like M390 at all. Over the last year, they've tried to settle this with Tuya, and finally last week went ahead with recalling all of the Queen Anne's Revenge knives. I have specifically seen an email from Böhler after testing 2 Queen Anne's Revenge that said unequivocally, the nitrogen count alone shows that it is not Böhler M390, period. This has been going on as far as my deep dive into this for just over a week, because Tools for Gents didn't make this known publicly until the Bark River scandal came out. Then they decided people needed to know about it. It's Dog One. What it do? Remember Kripple Krew? Yeah, that's going to be awesome, boss. DKE is going to be a blast. But when Tools for Gents announced that they were going to recall the Queen Anne's Revenge last week, I reached out to TFG and have been in communication with him daily since. I've seen a lot of communications back and forth. And I can say that I have seen the email that specifically said this is not our Böhler M390 microclean. Tuya buys its steel through different steel distributors. Like, even though MagnaCut is being made by Era Steel in Europe now, it's still distributed only through Niagara Specialty Metals in the U.S. And so Tuya buys their steels. They can buy direct from, say, a Böhler or an Era Steel, but most of the steel they buy, they get from a third-party distributor. The only thing that they have produced to try to prove that this is Böhler in the knives is a Chinese commercial invoice that just says it bought some Böhler M390. It has no batch tracing on it. And there's no way to either guarantee that it was M390 from this one invoice, or even if it was, show that it was used in these knives. That wasn't enough information for TFG. So they kept digging and eventually sent two Queen Anne's Revenge to Böhler, who said unequivocally it's not their steel. Really crazy situation. And one that I would have thought was settled last Tuesday when Tuya US and Tuya Europe released statements that made it seem like this is not a controversy. They said that the steel had been tested, and Böhler said it was an old formulation of M390, just not the newest formulation. That is not what Böhler said in the email that I have read. I read it myself specifically. I cannot share screenshots because of names, but I can tell you that I wouldn't have said this until I saw it myself. That Böhler equivocally said, this is not any batch of M390 we have produced. And then Richard from Tools for Gents is the one who has done a lot of diving, a lot of research into actual quantities, weights of steels that were exported by export companies, by Böhler, Carpenter, Crucible, or people like Niagara, and compared it against the actual numbers that Chinese companies have said that they have imported in these steels. And China is importing more of these steels than is being sold and exported by tons and tons and tons, hundreds of tons when it comes to M390 and MagnaCut. What does that mean? That means that not every knife that you see with M390, MagnaCut, 20CV, and 204P, those were the four most named, and the four that were off the most. Now, 204P we don't see a lot of, but the numbers that were exported of M390, 20CV, and MagnaCut don't match what was produced. Now, are those going to be the only steels? Probably not. S90V, we are just sorry. Oh, no, I take it back. S90V was also listed. My apologies. S90V was one of the big ones as well. S90V, M390, 20CV, MagnaCut. Ron Dobbins, what it do, my brother? I am having a killer day. I hope you're having a great day as well. How could it not be an insane day? I'm kicking it with the Kripple crew, and Matt Conklin and Rachel Jordan gifted me